Hi everybody, and welcome back to A Dinosaur in the Library. My name is Dawn. If you've never been here before, welcome to my strange little world. And if you're coming back, thank you for sticking with me because I know I've been absent for about a week. But if you can tell from my voice, I've been sick. Thankfully, nothing as serious as the flu I had in February. But I've been kind of down for the count for a week, and hopefully you guys don't think this is very rude, but I've got a cough drop in my mouth, and I'll probably be sipping water throughout the entire video, so that's why. Anyway, so today I'm filming my April haul video, and most of it's books, but there's a few things, few perhaps very strange things that I also want to show you that I got this month that I really liked. So I guess we'll call this an April haul / April favorites sort of video. And so the first thing is today is the last day of Pride Week here in Tallahassee, and we always have a big thing downtown at this plaza called Clayman Plaza. They have all these vendors and different organizations set up, and it's just it's a fun time. So my wife and I went down there this morning. I didn't stay very long because we still aren't feeling 100%, and I got this year's Pride Fest t-shirt. Whoops. So obviously celebrating the victory for marriage equality in Florida this year. Hopefully my wife and I will be able to get legally married next month. We just haven't been able to do it. And I really like this year's design. It's really cool. I didn't get last year's, but the year before I really liked as well. And then also at the South Georgia Pride, because we're really close to South Georgia here. We're only like 30 or 45 minutes from the Georgia line, I think, if that far. South Georgia Pride had little tiny rainbow flags on a stick for $1, so I had to, of course, get one of these. This is going in my cube, my little desk at school. I'm probably going to tape it to Pete the cat's hand so he can be Pride as well. Then, also, these were free. These, they always have every year for all the events. They have one for each event. This one was for the pageant, Keep Calm and Drag On. I didn't get all of them this year. I tried, but I was about half awake, honestly. And then this is just the general. They're not focusing. Sorry. But anyway, this is just the general Pride Fest one. And then the Pride in the Plaza one. And again, these are not focusing, so it's kind of pointless for me to hold it up there. But then I also got this one, which says #Occupati. And if you don't know what this means, if I'm not mistaken, I hope I'm not, these are the colors of the transgender pride flag. And here in Florida, they had a recent attempt to pass legislation that would make it so people have to use the restroom designated for the sex they were assigned at birth. How they felt they were going to police this, I don't know. But so that would mean that transgender individuals would be forced to use a bathroom opposite of their gender identity, which is uncomfortable, but can also be very dangerous, because if you're a transgender individual and your gender expression is opposite that of your sex at birth, and say you're male to female and you're having to use the men's bathroom, that is a potential danger to you. Not to mention the fact that it's just ridiculous, and it's insane that they feel they need to do this sort of legislation. But anyway, this is one of the hashtags that's being used to support the transgender community in their fight to get rid of crap like that. And the other one, which I really like, is also #We Just Need to Pee. But the only button they had for that one was like huge, and I don't have a spot on my bag for that one, so I got this one. And two other things. So I went in Michael's. I have a bad habit of going in Michael's because I like making earrings. So if I see cute charms there, I have octopus earrings that I made from charms I found there. But I also have this thing about octopi, and yeah, I had a really good coupon, so I got this little guy for like $3 a couple of weeks ago. And I mean, I don't know what to say except for look at the face. I mean, that's just too cute. Little glittery pink octopus eyes. I can't help it. I needed this. He sits on the shelf next to my other octopus with the Jules Verne books. So this is my new little buddy, whose name I have yet to figure out. So anybody has a name suggestion for my little pink octopus, please let me know in the comments below. And the last non-book thing I'm going to show you, on the way to Pride this morning, we saw a moving sale at the end of our road, and we had to stop and get this. This cost $2. This is a unicorn and a lotus flower on velvet. So I got a velvet unicorn painting for $2. I think it's totally worth it. Don't know where I'm going to put it yet, but kind of awesome. We were very excited. Yeah, people who know us know that we tend to buy stuff like that. Anyway, if you're here for the books, you can start paying attention again. And these were not all purchased on one day, so I did not go that crazy. There's been 2 or 3 trips to the bookstore, and there was a small order, which I'll get to in a minute. But this first one, I actually got this at the Dollar Tree. It's Barbara King Solver's Flight Behavior. It's a nice hardcover edition. It actually has the little slight deckle edge, not very, but just very slight deckled edge. And I've never read this one. I don't even know what it's about, honestly. I haven't even read the flap. But The Bean Trees, which was the first one of hers I ever read back in like 98, remains one of my favorite novels. I absolutely love that book. Also, Animal Vegetable Miracle, which is a nonfiction book she wrote, remains, again, one of my favorites of all time. I pretty much love anything nonfiction that she writes, and I also love the Poisonwood Bible. That was an excellent book. So I'm pretty sure I'll love Flight Behavior. And even if I don't, it cost $1. I don't know how you could honestly beat that. Alright, so the next set I will do is not the books. I did get some books today, but these were gotten the last time I went to the bookstore. And this first one, actually, my wife picked up. She started watching this guy on YouTube, Shane Dawson, which I'm sure a lot of you know who he is. I actually didn't until she started watching him, but he's really fun. I've watched some of his videos, and I think he seems like a really cool person. And so she picked up his memoir, I Hate My Selfie, a collection of essays by Shane Dawson, and she flew through this few hours. I tend to lose track of time when I go in the bookstore, so she bought this and a cup of coffee or tea and went and sat, and she was about halfway through it by the time I got done with my book decisions that day. So, but yeah, she finished it that day. She said it was really, really good, so I'm definitely going to read it. Pardon me. To quote Graveyard Girl, sippy sippy. And it's a winner of the Terry Pratchett Prize, and I love Terry Pratchett, so I can't imagine a book that won an award named after him would not be something that I loved. And the tagline for this is, "Forget the cud, they want blood." And I want you to just see this little red-eyed cow here. I mean, there was no way I couldn't pick this up, you know? The back says, 3 losers, overwhelming odds, 1 outcome. Yep, we're screwed. I'm really looking forward to this book, guys, and I will probably be doing a review of it, so look for that in the future. Then I also picked up, and I've read Their Eyes Were Watching God and a couple of other things by Zora Neale Hurston, but I've never read her autobiography, which this is, and that's Dust Tracks on the Road. And this is the Harper Perennial Modern Classics edition, and I just thought it was really pretty. I love the color and the flowers. And it's that very, it's not the shiny smooth, it's the kind of rough paper with the deckle edge and the flaps, and the classic picture of her. And so I'm actually looking forward to reading this as well. Okay, so I think it was last week that Jen Campbell, and if you haven't watched Jen Campbell's BookTube channel, you really need to. She's the author of The Bookshop Book, Weird Things Customers Say in Bookshops, More Weird Things Customers Say in Bookshops, and then she has a poetry collection out, the name of which is escaping me. I'm very sorry, Jen. I haven't gotten a chance to read it yet, but it is on my TBR, so I'm looking forward to reading that. Anyway, she did a Jen Recommends video of short story collections, and I've kind of been in a short story collection mood lately. So, I went to Books A Million that day, and I looked for all of the ones that she recommended in that video, actually, and they only had one, and that is Vampires in the Lemon Grove and Other Stories by Karen Russell, who's the author of Swamplandia, which I haven't read, but I know a lot of people have and really enjoyed it. And just Jen's recommendation on this was enough to sell me on it. She talked about a couple of the stories in here, and I was just sold. It sounds amazing, and I can't wait to get into it. Then that same day, I got a $3.97 copy of Big Fish, a novel of mythic proportions by Daniel Wallace. I love this movie, and I've never gotten a chance to read the book, and I just happened to see this really cheap, so I hope it's as good as, I hope I love it as much as I love the movie. If you watched my Southern Gothic Women video a week or two ago, you'll know that I am that's one of my favorite things in the entire world. And I did not include Shirley Jackson on that because she is not actually Southern, even though one of you did point her out to me in the comments, and I started to put her in, but she actually isn't from the South, so that's the only reason I did not include her, even though she is extremely Gothic in her writing style. So anyway, I picked up her first novel, which I had never read, and that is The Road Through the Wall, and it's the first thing she ever published, and it's about a suburban California neighborhood, and it's not Gothic like The Haunting of Hill House. It's not like a ghost story or anything like that. It is just a tale of suburban life in the 50s. I think it's in the 50s, maybe early 60s, but no, late 50s, early 60s. And it's just all about the kids and the adults in this neighborhood and their families. And there's a twist toward the end that I wasn't actually expecting, but so it's got strange things in it. It's definitely Gothic. It's got that mood and that tone, but it's not like a ghost story. But it's really interesting. It wasn't really met with a whole lot of acclaim, but this is the first thing she published, and the next thing she published was The Lottery. So, and everybody just flipped their lids about that one because they're like, oh my god, what is this? This can't be the same woman writing this. This is an insane story. So yeah, so there's her first one. And I've decided I'm going to go ahead and read through Shirley Jackson's entire catalog and Flannery O'Connor's, because I don't think, I know for a fact I've never read all of Shirley Jackson's novels, and I don't think I know I've never read The Violent Bear It Away by Flannery O'Connor. So that's one of my projects right now, is to get all of those and read all of those. Okay, and the last two from that trip, or no, there's two on this. So then I got a copy of Jules Verne's The Mysterious Island. I read this when I was about 14, so it's been 21 years since I read this. And I decided I'm also going to read through all of Jules Verne and H.G. Wells again. And I don't have all of them, so I'm slowly picking them up so that when I get done with schoolwork for the semester, I can just kind of plunge into my TBR pile and read through everything. These are, even though this is a really thick book, I've never found Jules Verne or H.G. Wells to be, you know, anything but, you know, very, very quick reads for me. So I'm pretty sure I'll get through this in a day or so. But this one I don't remember a whole lot about. I mean, I know what it's about. I remember the story, but I don't remember a whole lot about it because it's been so long since I've read it, and I only read it the one time. So I'm actually can't wait to get back into this one. And then I got me a Signet Classics edition of The Time Machine, because as I showed you in my bookshelf tour part 1, I do have a copy of The Time Machine because, of course, it's my favorite book, so of course I have a copy, but it's an old copy and not a particularly awesome cover, and I don't particularly like this cover. This isn't one I purchased for the cover, but it's a Signet edition. It matches my other ones, and it's got, you know, an introduction and afterword talking about the novel and H.G. Wells, which I always enjoy, so got that one. Then another book I got, not that same day, because that would have been insane, but then I picked up also The Complete Stories of Flannery O'Connor, and this cover I do love. This is, you know, like almost a, I guess a watercolor. Maybe, I'm not an art person, but I think that's watercolor of the peacock, because if you know anything about Flannery O'Connor, she loved peacocks. She kept peacocks at Milledgeville, at Andalusia in Milledgeville, which is pretty much where she spent most of her adult life and did a lot of writing. And there's still peacocks there, and it's about a 4-hour drive, but I will make it up there. This is a pilgrimage that I need to do, and they have a gift shop full of Flannery O'Connor stuff. Yes, they do. So, and I am in the middle of this, actually, well, past the middle, and I'm just finished The Comforts of Home, and I'm about to start Everything That Rises Must Converge. And I am remembering just how much I love Flannery O'Connor's stuff. And actually, there were some in here that I had not read because I've never read a copy of this particular publication. I've always read the short story collections. A Good Man is Hard to Find and Everything That Rises Must Converge. So the first few in the collection here are from her, I think it was from her dissertation. And they were stories that I had never read before. And I'll be honest, they weren't as good as her later stuff, and I didn't enjoy them as much as her later stuff, but I really still enjoyed them. So, and I'm loving all of these. But of course, my favorite of hers will always be Good Country People. Top 5 best short stories in the entire universe. And if you have not ever read Good Country People, please go read it. Even if you don't read any other of her short stories, read that story. It is awesome. It's a twisted little story, and it is just Southern Gothic through and through, and you will see exactly her style, because that is pretty much that weirdness, that strangeness just below the surface is what she's all about. So you should definitely go check this out. Okay, so I also ordered 3 books because I got a couple of books as a gift that I wasn't really thrilled with, so I returned them to Amazon and got the credit and picked these up. And the first 2 I got were Shirley Jackson's second and third novels, Hangs a Man and The Bird's Nest, and they're all the ones I've gotten so far are in the Penguin Classics editions. I think they have all of her novels in these editions. I hope they do. I know they have The Sundial and The Haunting of Hill House, because I started to get those today, but I changed my mind, and I think I'm going to get those the next time I'm able to buy books. But I don't really know a whole lot about these. I know one is about a girl who, The Bird's Nest, I think, is about a girl kind of, her mental state kind of decomposing and having sort of neurotic and almost schizophrenic tendencies. I'm really not sure, but it sounded really cool, and I'm really not sure what this one's about, but I love Shirley Jackson, so, and I kind of like these covers. I mean, they kind of tell you something, especially this one, right, with the blood. I got in that order from Amazon. I've read before. It is Hollow Earth, The Long and Curious History of Imagining Strange Lands, Fantastical Creatures, Advanced Civilizations, and Marvelous Machines Below the Earth's Surface by David Standish. And I've read this before. I checked it out at the library from school, and it's just about all the different ways people have thought about the earth being hollow. So things like Journey to the Center of the Earth. There were multiple other literary instances of this. There have been multiple literary instances in, you know, current and modern literature. There's been a semi-recent movie called Nazis at the Center of the Earth, I think was the title, and it was a horrible movie, but so funny. Oh my God. If you like bad horror movies, you need to go watch this. I think it's still on Netflix. If you have Netflix streaming, go look, see if it's on there. It's not a waste of 2 hours, I promise. You will just, it's awesome. Anyway, but that sort of thing. And it's just a nonfiction book all about the different ways that people have thought about that, including semi-recent ones that were not fictional. So, alright, and I've got one more stack of books, and these are the ones I actually did get today. So, the ones I got today, I'm going to start with this one, is Unseen Academicals by Terry Pratchett, and this is one of the Discworld books. And of course, as I've said before, I love Discworld. Death is my favorite character. I don't think he's in this one, but my second favorite set of characters are all revolving around the Unseen University, which is where they learn magic, and where the librarian is an orangutan, who was not originally an orangutan, but got turned into one. But yeah, so if you've never read Discworld, you're missing out, and I'm really looking forward to reading some more Discworld. It's been quite some time since I've been in that world. And a similar, but not well, I say similar just because it's kind of comic fantasy, but this one's book related, and that's The Air Affair by Jasper Fforde, and I love this edition. It's really cool. It's like paper cutout art, and I love it. I've read this one quite some time ago, and I really want to get this whole series because I fell behind. I think I only read like the first 3, and then I somehow missed the rest of them. And it's a world in which there's a crime division that can go in and out of books. People can come out of the books, people can steal things from books, and there's just all kinds of things like that. And they center around this one woman named Thursday Next, and yeah, so it's mystery, it's fantasy, it's comedy, and comic fantasy is one of my favorite things in the entire world. And so this one I am very happy they had a copy of, and in this edition too. I'm gonna have to get the rest of them in this particular Penguin edition, because I love the artwork on this. And I saw that they had one more in this edition, and if it had been the second one in the series, I'd have bought it, but it was like the last one in the series. So I mean, what good would that do me right now? And then I also picked up, and this was on recommendation from Joe Reads Books, and that is The Tower, the Zoo, and the Tortoise by Julia Stewart. And look at the cover. I mean, I'd have bought this if she hadn't recommended it. It's got a giraffe and the Tower of London, and there's a little turtle. And I don't know a whole lot about this book either, other than Joe really liked it, and when she talked about it, it sounded really interesting. So when I saw it in the store today, I went ahead and picked it up. So thank you, Joe. I'll have to let you know what I think about this one. And this one has been recommended on so many channels. I cannot even think of who all has mentioned this. I know Jen Campbell, I think, has mentioned this at least once or twice. I want to say I also saw it on Library at the Edge of the World. I could be wrong about that. But this is Americana, a novel by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and I really hope I said that correctly. And again, another thing I don't know a whole lot about, other than there's a couple in Nigeria. One of them goes to America, and I think the other one has to stay in Nigeria, and it's all about race and different things like that. Race and identity and, you know, love. Just a bunch of awesomeness, and I need more diversity in my life, and this fits that bill, and I am very excited to actually own it and have it in my little hands. And it's a nice thick book, you know, like a solid one. It's not like 1,000 pages, it's almost 600, but it's one of those that just, it feels like it's going to be an awesome book, you know? You know, you're on Booktube, you know these things. Okay, and the very last book that I got, I was really happy that I got a cheap copy of it. It was like $6, even though there were some on the shelf that were full cover price. You know, books. If you've been in Books A Million, you know there's a section toward the back where they have new books that, or not new books that have just come out, but new copies of books that are marked down. This one was only $6.97, even though it's like a $16 book. And this is A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki. This is another one that I've seen on multiple channels, but I think the place I first saw it might have been Jen Campbell. It was either Jen Campbell or perhaps might have been Library at the Edge of the World. I don't know. I'm going to link all these people below, because even if I'm wrong about the channel, those being the channels that I got this from, those are all amazing channels. They're 3 of my favorites, and yeah, so obviously because I'm taking recommendations just immediately without even knowing what the book is truly about. This one, I know a woman finds a Hello Kitty lunchbox washed up on the beach, and there's a diary inside from a 16-year-old Japanese girl, and she thinks that it's debris from the tsunami in 2011, and you get both the person who finds the Ruth, who's the one who finds the lunchbox, and then the girl Now, N-A-O. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but you get both her diary and Ruth, who's reading the diary. And I love books that kind of have multiple perspectives, even though I haven't read any lately, which is really weird, but I really liked it. And I love this cover was really pretty too. It's always great when you find a book that you want to read, and it has a beautiful cover as well. So, and that is all I have, guys, and that's enough, I think. I went a little crazy this month, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will be back soon. I'm sorry for the hiatus for the last week, but hopefully I'll be feeling better. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be back soon, probably with a tag or two. I have some that I want to do. I know Elena and Sam from Elena Reads Books, and oh wait, I may have gotten I may have missaid a couple of channels. Anyway, I'm sorry, all the channels I'm talking about will be listed below. And I'll put little boxes if I've said them incorrectly, because I'm going to blame it on the cough syrup. Anyway, Elena from Elena Reads Books and Sam from Cold Teen Crumbs created a tag that I want to do, and there's a couple others that I've been meaning to do anyway and haven't gotten around to, so I'm going to do those soon. I've got a bunch of deadlines for school coming up, so that may hamper me a little bit, but then I've got a couple of weeks free, so hopefully I'll get to do some kind of like filming ahead, so I won't have any bare spots in my channel anymore. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers. If you're not subscribed already, hit that button, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!